there's absolutely no oversight. I mean, just like, I had heard about and crazy stories and whatnot. I mean, people got beat up, people got stabbed, people got raped. The guards in there, just absolute awful people. So this was in April of 2017. I had just turned 21 on the 3rd, and it was a couple days later. I was at my mom's house, and I was out in the driveway, and I had a couple grams of weed in my pocket. I didn't know, my dad, he called the police to do like a wellness check. So, and I didn't know that. So I'm out there, and these cops, they pulled up the driveway, and they approached me, and honestly, like, they were reaching in my pockets like before they could even ask me for a search or anything. I think I had like 3 grams of weed on me. So they arrested me for that, and yeah, that was it.
Okay, so that's all it took was you end up having some weed on you at the wrong time. And
well, now, I mean, when they did arrest me, I did have I had a problem coming out of Colorado too. But so whether they were going to take me on that, I don't know. But they did actually, they formally charged me with the weed. So, I was arrested for that. Yeah, so because of the problem out of Colorado, when I got to the jail, they wouldn't give me a bond. I was held on like a probation hold. So I believe, yeah, you sit until, I mean, if you don't bond out, you sit until your court date. And on my court date, the judge just he didn't hesitate. He gave me he gave it to me in days, but it came out to a little over 6 months, ran consecutively, I think, rather than concurrently, which is at the same time. Consecutively is one after the other. And with good time, I had to do almost 6 months on it. So kind of crazy for a simple possession of weed charge, especially since I think it was the next year they changed the law to, I think it's like a half ounce or under, and it's like a ticket. Yeah, so I had 3 grams of weed, and I sat for 6 months on it.
Damn. So that change in the law came right after you had already took a hit.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So, man, how was the 6 months overall? Just how was that? Had you ever been to jail before? Probably caught up before.
Yeah. So I'd been arrested a handful of times, just dumb shit, as a teenager. I had been to East Baton Rouge one time as a 17-year-old, but when you're 17, they put you on juvenile line. I did 30 days. But so when I get here this time, it's my first time actually going on the line, and that's what they call general population is on the line. It was brutal. It was fucking brutal. I mean, I think the main thing is just there's absolutely no oversight. I mean, just I had heard about and the crazy stories and whatnot. I mean, people got beat up, people got stabbed, people got raped. The guards in there, just absolute awful people, to tell you the truth. It was almost like several of them got like a kick out of like having a bit of power in these circumstances, and they really fucked over a lot of inmates, and they would do all sorts of unethical shit to get back at you, or they put a little gay kid. He was like 18 years old. They put him in a cell, a 2-man cell with a known like rapist, and that was like their way of like getting back at this. I'm not sure what this teenager did to him, but you could hear them laugh and joke about it and talk shit, and yeah. So there's nobody to police the police, and they certainly didn't give a shit about policing their prison. It's got its own fucking politics and hierarchy.
So I mean, you would imagine, like, first coming in, you know, if you're gonna have problems with people, if anybody, it's going to be, you know, other inmates. Maybe, you know, you keep to yourself for that purpose. But it sounds like a lot of the issues you were seeing were coming from the established security and the people that were running the prison, huh?
Yeah, you don't want to mess with them. They'll fuck you over.
Wow. All right. So when you first got, this is really kind of your first time really kind of experiencing being locked up. Then, aside from your teenage experience, because they had you separated, and you know, at least you didn't have to deal with the core population, the general population. So when you first kind of started, when they first sent you back there, and how was that? What was some stuff you kind of noticed, and just kind of what was going through your head?
So I started out, they put me in what's referred to as the new building, or the Q building, because it's lines Q some shit. What's wild is, you know, in the Q building, it's like, well, I think pretty much all through EBR they do this. They don't house the inmates by crime or like severity, or, you know, like danger level. It's none of that. They house you by age. So in the Q building, it's like all these 18 to 23, 24-year-olds. That place is a jungle, bro. Like they're reckless. They like to fight. Thank God, I ran into 2 people in there that I knew, just from the outside, and I guess like kind of like in an unspoken way, like they stood up for me. So I didn't have any problems, thank God. They were all narrowly avoided, but it was only for that blessing of knowing a couple people in there. Otherwise, like, yeah, anyone's a target.
How was that first month, man? Like dealing with them first 30 days or so?
So like, one thing about, and this is something that the older dudes had to like instill within me. Your mindset is like so important when you're doing days like that, you know, because in my first 30 days, dude, it felt like I did the whole 6 months. Like in that 30 days, it was such a long fucking 30 days. I'm thinking in my head, I'm not knowing everything that's going on. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna get out. I don't know when. So kind of like once you go and once it's found out and you know like how long you're gonna be there, you know that there's no getting out, and you just do the days. That it does make the time go by a little better. If you let yourself, like, you can be your own worst enemy, for sure. And that first 30 days, I had to make a switch from, maybe I'm gonna get out to, nah, I'm here. Here's something crazy that I think they still do. Well, so yeah, I got caught one day smoking some paraphernalia. It was like a tobacco stick, they call it.
Yeah.
And so what they did, they put me on lockdown, which is it's like jail within jail. You go in a cell by yourself for 23 hours and 45 minutes every day. They gave me 90 days on lockdown.
Wow. Shit.
So like the line is horizontal like this, and they'll have like somebody going. There's like people all down the line. You feel me? And they're all locked in like this. So they only let one person out of their cell for their 15 minutes at a time. Because it's this long horizontal thing. Everyone's in their one cell, and they just pop one at a time and let them out for their 15 minutes. And they would do this horrendous shit where they would, like, these inmates would fill up shampoo bottles with, like, piss and shit. And when they got let out for their haul time, if, like, you were a target, they can't fight you because they're only going to pop one cell at a time. But they will come up to your cell and just, like, completely rain shit hell upon you. It's twisted.
Huh.
Yeah.
You had to do that for 90 days, you said?
Well, that never happened to me, thank God. But, I mean, if it happens to somebody on the line, think about it. It really does kind of happen to all of you.
Yeah.
But they let me out after like 70-something days. But, dude.
That's still a lot, 70-something days?
Yeah, I don't know how I did it. Like, you're not supposed to have like books or anything back there.
Yeah.
It really is supposed to just be like you going crazy. We did manage to get like some books and shit back there. So like between like reading, sleeping, we would play chess with each other. We would like yell out our moves and play on our own drawn out board in each in our individual cell. You feel me?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, dude, that's fucked up. I don't think they should do that to people.
Yeah, man. When you say you didn't do it for 90 days, I thought, okay, you did it for 1 or 2 days, but
70-something days.
70-something days,
Yeah.
man. That's wild to be. You spend 23 hours, almost 24 hours.
They pop your cell for 15 minutes.
15
You
minutes.
can shower, make a phone call, and then that's it. I learned how to play spades. That's like a popular game in there. They play all kind of card games. I don't know. They call it when you're like in there. You call what you're doing. It's called josing. That's what they say. You're josing to pass the time by. I mean, they have a couple TVs like in the dorms. So that's like what, like 2 TVs for 100 dudes. I guess you could watch that. I don't know, man. People work out. They make their own like heavy bags, and not so much in East Baton Rouge, but you know, people make tattoo equipment. They smoke
Did you get any tattoos while you were in there?
Nah.
Okay.
No, they don't. They don't do. They in East Baton Rouge, a lot of people are like waiting to be like, if they've been sentenced, they're waiting to be shipped off to like
To where they're gonna stay?
Hunts or Dixon, or some of these dudes are going to Angola. So there. I'm sure there's a lot more like tattoo action, but
Yeah.
East Baton Rouge, I think it's kind of fucked up how the county jail, like, also houses a lot of like long time, many year, some life sentence inmates at times,
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, that shit in there basically in like I mean, for lack of a better analogy, purgatory. You're sitting in, the middle stage of, and I know people sit inside East Baton Rouge Parish until they get sent to, depending upon the crime and the time, they're waiting there until they get sent to where they're gonna be for a while. But
yeah, but then there's also like, I remember being told that like the reason that I didn't get shipped to one of those like bigger prisons was because of like a medication conflict. I don't know if that was the case, but yeah. And then like a lot of times people that are coming from one of these other prisons, Riverbend or something, they might be coming down for court or something, and so they're housed at East Baton Rouge for however long while they go to their court date, and then eventually, I guess, back to where they started out at. One of the reasons that like one of the things that made the time a lot easier was one of my cellies. He went by Mook. That's what we called him, Mook. Anyway, he was he had been down for some years, and he was like, I think, fighting something serious, and so yeah, there were a lot of good people like that I did regret to see spending so long in there.
yeah.
Leading up to my last days, though, I had a fucked up situation because of the deal out of Colorado. I was not sure if like come my release date, would I actually be released, or was Colorado going to come down here and extradite me out there, which they had the option of doing so, but we didn't know if that was going to happen. So it was like crazy anxiety, to be honest, like a whole lot of trying not to think about it.
Yeah.
The day came, my release date came, and they didn't release me. I sat for like 2 more weeks while I was waiting for Colorado to either decide to come get me or decide to say, fuck it. And they showed up. So yeah, they came and they got me and they brought me out to Colorado. I spent like another month in their county jail and then was able to get a bond out. So look, I personally, it's not just been the prison experience. Personally, like what I've witnessed my whole life in Baton Rouge and in my travels, no, I'm not a big fan of the police. Not saying we don't need them. I just think we need better people to be our police. I guess it's no coincidence that like after that experience, that was in 2017, I haven't been back. I do my best to stay far away from trouble. I don't mess with the cops. I don't want to go back. And like, I can't really think of anything that would be worth like really spending some years there, 10 years, 20 years, like a life sentence, dude. There's nothing in the world that would make me be like, okay, that's a fair trade. I'll do the time. Nah, dude. That shit, it's not for me.